Hi, I'm Elijah. Today I'm going to tell you my story. But before I continue, please like, share, and subscribe to hear more stories like this. So where do I even begin? My wife Maya and I were expecting our first child, a daughter. We were over the moon. But there was this tension with Maya's sister, Vanessa. She'd always been jealous of our relationship, our success, our happiness. I tried ignoring it, but man, did it get bad. The first time I noticed something was off was at our wedding 3 years ago. Maya and I were slow dancing when her sister approached us. "Congratulations, little sis," Vanessa said with this forced smile. "You always did get the best of everything." Maya just laughed it off. "Thanks, Van. That means a lot coming from you." But I caught the look in Vanessa's eyes. Pure resentment. Her husband Daniel was standing nearby, looking uncomfortable. "Your sister seems intense," I whispered to Maya later that night. "That's just Vanessa," Maya replied. "She's always been competitive. Don't take it personally." But it was personal. Every family gathering, every holiday, Vanessa would make these little digs. "Still at that startup, Elijah? When are you going to get a real job?" "Maya, you're putting on weight even before the pregnancy, huh? Your house is cozy. I guess not everyone needs space." I tried talking to Maya about it. "Your sister is deliberately trying to undermine us." "She's family, Eli," Maya would say. "She's just going through a rough patch with Daniel. Their business is struggling." "What business?" "Oh, they owned this boutique furniture store downtown. Meanwhile, my tech startup was doing well, really well. We just secured our second round of funding when Maya got pregnant. When we announced the pregnancy at Thanksgiving dinner, everyone was thrilled except Vanessa. "Another grandchild for mom to spoil," she muttered, pushing food around her plate, as if William doesn't already get everything. William was her 5-year-old son. Maya's mom, Linda, reached across the table. "Vanessa, honey, there's enough love to go around." "Is there?" Vanessa snapped. "Because it sure doesn't feel that way." The table went silent. My friend Martin, who we'd invited because he had nowhere else to go for the holiday, gave me a wide-eyed look. Later, Martin pulled me aside. "Dude, what's her problem?" "Long story," I said. "She's always been like this with me." "No offense, but that's toxic as hell," he replied. "You shouldn't have to deal with that." "She's family," I echoed Maya's words, but they felt hollow. A few days after Thanksgiving, Maya and I were having breakfast when she brought up Vanessa again. "I talked to my mom yesterday," she said, stirring her tea. "Apparently, Vanessa and Daniel had a huge fight after dinner. She threw a vase at him." I put down my coffee mug. "Are you serious?" "Mom said it's not the first time," Maya admitted, looking troubled. "I knew they had problems, but I didn't realize it was this bad." "Has she always been this way?" I asked. "Even as a kid?" Maya sighed. "She's always had a temper. When we were little, she'd break my toys if I got something she didn't. In high school, she spread rumors about my friends if they didn't include her. But my parents always made excuses. She's sensitive, she's passionate, she's just expressing herself." "That's not expressing yourself," I said. "That's being abusive." "I know," Maya whispered. "I just don't know how to handle it anymore." As Maya's pregnancy progressed, we decided to have a baby shower. Maya wanted it co-ed, so both men and women would attend. We planned it for our backyard. Nothing too fancy, just food, games, and gifts. The morning of the shower, Maya was a ball of nerves. "Do you think Vanessa will behave?" "For your sake, I hope so," I said, kissing her forehead. People started arriving around 2. Martin came early to help set up. Maya's parents brought enough food to feed an army. Daniel arrived without Vanessa. "She's running late," he explained awkwardly. "Work emergency at the store." I saw Maya's face fall. "But she's the co-host. She was supposed to help set up the games." "I know, I'm sorry," Daniel said. "You know how she gets about the business." I pulled Daniel aside while Maya greeted other guests. "Everything okay with you two?" He rubbed the back of his neck. "Not really, man. The business is tanking and Vanessa's taking it out on everyone, especially me." "That's rough," I said. "If you need anything—" "I don't," he cut me off. "Just be careful around her today, okay? She's in a mood." An hour into the party, Vanessa finally showed up. She wasn't dressed for a baby shower, but looked like she'd come from a business meeting. I was grilling burgers when she walked straight up to me. "Nice party," she said, voice dripping with sarcasm. "Very suburban." "Thanks for coming, Vanessa," I replied, keeping my cool. "Maya was worried you wouldn't make it." "I almost didn't. Some of us have real responsibilities." I flipped a burger. "The store keeping you busy? What's that supposed to mean?" "Nothing. Just making conversation." She narrowed her eyes. You think you're so much better than us with your fancy tech job and your perfect life. I never said that, I replied, keeping my voice even. You didn't have to, she hissed before stalking off. The party continued. We played silly games, opened gifts, and everyone seemed to be having a good time. Maya was glowing with happiness, surrounded by friends and family who cared about her and our baby. Then came the toast. I clinked my glass to get everyone's attention. I want to thank you all for coming today to celebrate our little girl, I began. Maya and I are so grateful for your love and support, especially to Linda and Greg for raising such an amazing woman, who I'm lucky enough to call my wife. People clapped and awed. Maya was teary-eyed with happiness. And to our co-host, Vanessa, I continued, trying to be generous. Thank you for what? Vanessa interrupted, standing up from her chair. She was swaying slightly. Had she been drinking? For helping with the shower, I finished lamely. That's rich, she laughed bitterly. I didn't help with anything. Maya didn't want my help. She never does. The backyard went silent. Maya looked mortified. Vanessa, maybe we should talk inside, Daniel suggested quietly. No, let's talk right here, Vanessa said loudly. Let's talk about how perfect Maya and Elijah are, the golden couple, the successful businessman and his pretty wife, the dream house, and now the baby. Vanessa, please, Maya pleaded, not here. Why not here? Vanessa demanded. Everyone's thinking it. Poor Vanessa with her failing business and her strained marriage. Did you know Daniel and I are in counseling? Daniel's face drained of color. That's private. Nothing's private in this family, Vanessa spat, except maybe how Elijah really feels about us. I set down my glass. What are you talking about? I saw your texts, she said, her voice shaking, with Martin, about how toxic I am. I looked at Martin, who appeared as confused as I felt. You went through my phone? I asked, incredulous. When you left it charging in the kitchen at Mom's last week, she confirmed. I saw what you really think of me. You had no right, I started. I had every right, she yelled, moving toward me. You came into this family and turned everyone against me. That's not true, Maya said, standing up awkwardly with her pregnant belly. Vanessa, you're making a scene. Of course you'd take his side, Vanessa sneered. You always do. I stepped between them. Vanessa, you need to calm down. This isn't the time or place. Don't tell me what to do, she shouted, and before I could react, her fist connected with my jaw, hard. I staggered back, more from shock than pain. The backyard erupted in gasps. Maya screamed, and no one, not a single person, moved to intervene. Vanessa stood there, breathing hard, her face contorted with rage and something else. Satisfaction? Feel better? I asked quietly, rubbing my jaw. Much, she replied. That's when Linda finally rushed forward. Vanessa, what has gotten into you? Ask him, she spat, pointing at me. Ask Mr. Perfect what he really thinks of this family. The rest of the party was a disaster. People left quickly, mumbling awkward goodbyes. Maya was in tears. Her parents were mortified. Daniel practically dragged Vanessa to their car. Later that night, Maya and I sat in silence in our living room. Are you going to press charges? She finally asked. For what? Assault against your sister? She hit you, Eli, in front of everyone. And nobody did anything, I said quietly. They all just watched. They were shocked, Maya defended weakly. No, they were afraid of her, like you are. Maya burst into tears again. She's my sister. She's toxic, Maya, I said firmly, and I won't have that around our daughter. What am I supposed to do? Maya cried. Cut her out of my life. I took her hands in mine. I can't make that decision for you, but I won't pretend everything's okay anymore. Not after today. I don't know if I can do it, she whispered. You're stronger than you think, I told her, and I'll be right here with you, whatever you decide. The next few weeks were tense. Maya's family closed ranks around Vanessa. Apparently, she'd told them I'd provoked her, that I'd been undermining her for years. That's ridiculous, I told Maya. You know that's not true. I know, she said tiredly, but she's convinced Mom and Dad. What about Daniel? He knows what she's like. Maya looked away. He's standing by her. I felt utterly alone. Even Martin had backed off, not wanting to get further involved in family drama. Then one day I ran into Daniel at the coffee shop near my office. Hey, he said awkwardly, how's the jaw? Fine, I replied coolly. How's married life with someone who assaults people? He flinched. Look, Vanessa's got issues, I know that, but she's not all bad. Could have fooled me. The business is going under, he admitted quietly. We're drowning in debt. Vanessa can't handle it. She's lashing out. At me. At my pregnant wife. I'm not defending it, he said, raising his hands. I don't know what to do anymore. Something in his defeated posture gave me an idea. What if there was a way out, for you at least? He looked up sharply. What do you mean? I have a proposition, I said, but we need to talk somewhere private. We met that weekend at a park. I laid out my plan. You want me to what? Daniel looked shocked. Just tell the truth, I said, at the family dinner next week, about everything. She'd never forgive me. Do you even want her forgiveness at this point, or do you want freedom? He was silent for a long time. What's in it for you? Justice, I said simply, and protection for my family. The next weekend, we all gathered at Linda and Greg's house. It was the first time I'd seen Vanessa since the baby shower. She didn't look at me. Dinner was painfully awkward, everyone tiptoeing around the elephant in the room. Finally, Greg cleared his throat. I think we need to address what happened, for the sake of this family. I agree, I said, setting down my fork. Let's clear the air. There's nothing to clear, Vanessa said tightly. I overreacted. End of story. Is it though? I asked mildly, because I think there's more going on here. Daniel, would you like to share? All eyes turned to Daniel, who looked like he might be sick. He stammered. It's okay, I encouraged. Just tell them what you told me. Daniel took a deep breath. The store is bankrupt. We've been hiding it for months. All the investors pulled out. We've been lying to everyone. Linda gasped. What? That's what this has been about? Maya asked incredulously. Money? It's not just money, Vanessa exploded. It's failure, while you two just succeed at everything. And that justifies punching my husband, Maya demanded. He thinks I'm toxic. He said so. Because you are, Daniel suddenly shouted, making everyone jump. You've been terrible to them for years because you're jealous. You went through his phone looking for dirt. You hit him because you couldn't stand that everyone was happy for them. And you've been horrible to me too. The room fell silent. Vanessa's face went from shock to fury. How dare you, she whispered. I'm done, Daniel said, standing up. I filed for divorce yesterday. I'm not covering for you anymore. You did what? Vanessa stood up so quickly her chair fell backward. You heard me, Daniel said, his voice steady for the first time. I'm done being your punching bag, both literally and figuratively. Vanessa lunged at him, but Greg stepped between them. That's enough. No more violence in this house. You're all against me, Vanessa cried. You've always been against me. No, Vanessa, Linda said sadly. You're against yourself, and we've enabled it for too long. What's that supposed to mean? Vanessa demanded. It means we're done making excuses for you, Greg said firmly. You assaulted Elijah. You've been cruel to your sister. You've lied to all of us. And until you get professional help, we can't have you around the new baby. You're choosing them over me? Vanessa looked stunned. We're choosing what's right, Linda replied. For once, Vanessa stormed out. We heard her car screech away moments later. The aftermath was both better and worse than I expected. Vanessa refused to speak to any of us. Daniel moved out and filed a police report about the physical abuse he'd suffered from Vanessa over the years. With his testimony and the witnesses from the baby shower, Vanessa was charged with assault. She got community service and mandatory anger management. The store went under completely. She had to sell her house to pay debts. Last we heard, she was working as a sales clerk in the mall, living in a small apartment alone. Our daughter was born 2 months later. We named her Olivia. Maya's parents dote on her. They've apologized to me countless times for not seeing Vanessa's behavior for what it was. We thought we were helping her by making excuses, Linda admitted. We were actually making it worse. One day, about 6 months after Olivia was born, we received a letter from Vanessa. It was an apology of sorts, blaming circumstances, justifying her actions, asking for forgiveness and another chance. What do you want to do? I asked Maya as we sat on the couch, the letter between us. Maya looked at our daughter, sleeping peacefully in her swing. Nothing. Nothing? She's not sorry, Eli. She's lonely. There's a difference. Maya picked up the letter and tore it in half. We deserve better. You sure? Absolutely. Our daughter deserves better than to grow up around someone like that. I see it clearly now. We never responded to Vanessa's letter, or the ones that came after. Maya's parents still see Vanessa occasionally, but they respect our boundaries. Daniel remarried last year and seems happy. Martin and I are closer than ever. He's Olivia's godfather. As for us, life is peaceful now. Drama-free, the way family should be. I sometimes wonder if I was too harsh, cutting Vanessa out completely. But then I remember how everyone just watched as she hit me. how no one stood up for what was right until they were forced to. And I know I made the right call. What would you have done? Would you have given Vanessa another chance? Or would you have protected your peace like I did? Comment below with your answer. I really want to know how you'd handle a toxic family member who crosses the line.